Thailand. It's the land of smiles, a world-class travel destination and home to some of the most vibrant festivals on the planet. But twice a year during the New Year and Songkran, this paradise transforms into what locals and authorities call the 7 Dangerous Days. It's a period where the roads become a lottery of life and death. While millions travel to reunite with family, hundreds never make it home. Today, we're going deep into the statistics, the history, and the harsh reality of Thailand's deadliest weeks. So what exactly are the 7 Dangerous Days? They are the government-designated periods surrounding New Year's and Songkran. The Thai New Year in April. These are times of mass exodus from major cities like Bangkok, as millions of people head to their hometowns. The highways are packed, the mood is festive, but underneath the celebration, a grim pattern repeats itself year after year. The main culprits are drunk driving, speeding, and fatigue. Despite massive public awareness campaigns, police checkpoints, and stern warnings, the numbers remain stubbornly high. Let's look at the data. In a typical week, Thailand sees a certain number of road fatalities. But during these 7-day periods, that number can more than double. We're talking about hundreds of deaths and thousands of injuries condensed into a single week. For example, during the recent New Year period, the country recorded over 2,200 accidents, resulting in over 2,200 injuries and tragically 284 fatalities. And here is the most heartbreaking part. Motorcycles are involved in over 80% of these accidents. For many Thais, a motorbike is the primary mode of transport, making them incredibly vulnerable on these chaotic roads. Historically, this has been a long-standing issue. The government started officially tracking these 7 dangerous days decades ago, hoping that publicizing the data would shock people into being more careful. Campaigns have ranged from graphic billboards showing accident scenes to heartfelt pleas from celebrities. Yet, the problem persists. Some argue it's a cultural issue tied to the celebratory nature of the holidays, where drinking is common. Others point to infrastructure and a need for stricter, more consistent law enforcement that goes beyond just these 2 weeks a year. The human cost is immeasurable. Behind every statistic is a family torn apart, a community in mourning. It is a stark contrast to the joyful images of family reunions and water fights that we associate with Songkran. The government continues to search for solutions, from increasing fines to exploring new technologies for traffic management. But many believe the real change has to come from within, a shift in mindset, where every single driver takes personal responsibility for their safety and the safety of others. So next time you see pictures of Thailand's amazing festivals, remember the hidden story of the 7 Dangerous Days. It's a powerful reminder that even in paradise, tragedy can be just around the corner. So what exactly are these 7 Dangerous Days? If you've spent any time in Thailand, you've probably heard this phrase, especially around the holidays. It's an official road safety campaign period that the Thai government takes very, very seriously. This happens twice a year, during the country's 2 biggest holidays, the Western New Year at the end of December, and Songkran, the Thai New Year, in the middle of April. Now, why are these days so dangerous? It all comes down to traffic volume. During these holiday windows, the roads just explode with activity. Imagine millions of people leaving the capital, Bangkok, all at once, to go back to their hometowns and celebrate with their families. It's a massive nationwide migration. Think of it like a giant wave of cars, trucks, and especially motorcycles flooding the highways. This incredible surge in traffic, combined with holiday excitement and often long, tiring journeys, creates a perfect storm for accidents. The situation is so predictable, in fact, that the government has a dedicated system to handle it. The Department of Disaster Prevention and Mitigation, or DDPM, sets up what they call a war room. That name alone tells you how serious this is. From this command center, they monitor the entire country's road network in real time. They track every single crash, every injury, and sadly, every fatality as it happens, province by province. The goal is to collect data, respond to emergencies faster, and try to make the roads safer for everyone during these peak travel times. It's a huge undertaking, but it highlights just how critical this period is for public safety in Thailand. Now, let's get down to the numbers, because they paint a very grim and sobering picture of what happens on Thai roads, especially during the holidays. We're going to look at what is often called the 7 dangerous days of the new year. The data is truly staggering, and it's something we all need to be aware of. Let's start with the most recent campaign for New Year 2026. This period ran from December 30th, 2025 to January 5th, 2026. In just the first 3 days of the new year, we already saw a devastating toll. There were nearly 800 separate accidents reported across the country. These accidents resulted in 769 people being injured. Many seriously and tragically, 145 people lost their lives. That's 145 families starting their new year with heartbreak. To give this some historical context, let's look back at the previous year, New Year 2025. By the end of that 7-day period, the final death toll reached a shocking 321 lives lost. Think about that number for a moment. That's equivalent to a large passenger plane crashing with no survivors, all happening on our roads in just 1 week. Now let's break down what this means on a daily basis. Thailand's average number of road deaths is already alarmingly high. On any given day throughout the year, we lose around 60 people on our roads. That's already one of the highest rates in the world. But during these holiday spikes, that number jumps significantly. During the 7 dangerous days, the daily average can climb to over 80 deaths per day. To put that into an even more chilling perspective, let's do the math. At the peak of the holiday travel season, with over 80 deaths a day, it means that someone dies on a Thai road roughly every 15 to 20 minutes. Imagine that. By the time you finish a short coffee break or listen to a few songs, another life has been tragically cut short somewhere in the country. This isn't just about statistics. It's about people, fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters who don't make it home. These numbers aren't just figures on a chart. They represent a national crisis that repeats itself year after year. We'll be diving deeper into why these numbers are so high and what the main causes are in the next part of our video. It's crucial we understand the root of the problem to find a solution. Last time we dove into the big picture of road safety in Thailand, right? Now let's zoom in and get specific. Where are the real danger zones? It's a tough question, but the data gives us a clear and frankly concerning answer. Not all provinces are created equal when it comes to risk on the road. First up, let's look at this heat map. See all that red? Those are the hotspots we need to talk about. Topping the list, perhaps unsurprisingly, is Bangkok. Year after year, the capital consistently records the highest number of fatalities. Why? Well, think about it. You have an incredible volume of traffic packed into one city. Add to that the high speeds people reach on the elevated expressways and motorways. When a crash happens at that speed, the chances of it being fatal just skyrocket. It's a deadly combination of density and velocity. Now, let's shift our focus south to a place many of you know and love, Phuket. While Bangkok leads in fatalities, Phuket is currently number 1 for the sheer number of accidents and injuries. If you've ever been, you know the roads. They're hilly, they're winding, and they're absolutely packed, especially with tourists on scooters who might not be familiar with the local driving conditions. It creates a perfect storm for crashes, making it a hotspot for accidents, even if they aren't always fatal. It's a paradise, but one that demands extreme caution on the road. Finally, we need to talk about what I call the gateway provinces. These are places like Nakhon Ratchasima, also known as Korat, and Suphanburi. You might wonder why these provinces, which aren't major tourist destinations like Phuket or as dense as Bangkok, have such high fatality rates. The reason is geography and infrastructure. They serve as the main arteries, the major highways connecting Bangkok to the entire north and northeast regions of the country. During holidays or long weekends, these roads see a massive surge in traffic. Long-distance travel, driver fatigue, and high speeds all contribute to some of the most devastating multi-vehicle pileups in the country. They are the critical channels for the nation's traffic, and tragically, that also makes them channels for high-risk driving. So, whether you're navigating the urban maze of Bangkok, enjoying the scenic routes in Phuket, or traveling long distance through the gateway provinces, being aware of the specific risks is your first line of defense. Stay safe out there and remember to like this video if you found it helpful. So you're probably asking, why does this happen? Why is the death toll on Thailand's roads so tragically high, especially during holidays like Songkran? The data gives us a very clear and very sobering picture. Let's break down the 3 main culprits. First up is speeding. It accounts for a massive 40% of all accidents. Picture this, long, straight highways stretching out from Bangkok. People are eager to get home, to beat the traffic, and they put the pedal to the metal. You might think most crashes happen on dangerous curves, but you'd be wrong. It's just on these straight roads where drivers get a false sense of security and push their vehicles to the absolute limit, leading to devastating consequences. Next, we have drink driving. In Thailand, holidays are all about celebration and parties, which often involve alcohol. Despite strict laws and endless campaigns, drunken drive remains a huge problem, contributing to about 25 to 30% of accidents. The most dangerous time? The dead of night, specifically between midnight and 3 in the morning. That's when the post-party commute turns deadly, transforming celebrations into tragedies in an instant. But the most shocking statistic of all revolves around motorcycles. A staggering 75 to 80% of all accidents involve two-wheelers. That's right, the vast majority. And it gets worse. When you look at the fatalities, over half of those who die in motorcycle crashes weren't wearing a helmet. It's just a fatal combination, the vulnerability of being on a bike mixed with the lack of basic protection. The results are predictable and heartbreaking. These aren't just statistics. They represent families torn apart and lives cut short. Understanding these causes is the first step toward finding a solution. It's about more than just numbers. It's about changing a culture and saving lives. So when did we start calling it the 7 Dangerous Days? And how did this whole concept even become a thing? Let's dive into the history. The term was actually coined back in the early 2000s. It was a joint effort by Thai authorities and several road safety, non-governmental organizations. Their goal was to create a real sense of urgency around the shocking number of accidents that happened during the major holiday seasons. Before this campaign, believe it or not, the holiday carnage was just seen as a sad but accepted part of life in Thailand. It was a predictable tragedy that everyone knew was coming, but there wasn't a unified national focus on stopping it. By branding these specific 7 days, the government was able to do something quite remarkable. They could mobilize the police, the military, and a huge number of volunteers into a massive nationwide effort. Suddenly, there were checkpoints everywhere, public awareness campaigns on TV and radio, and a concerted push to get people to slow down and drive safely. This branding was incredibly effective at raising awareness. It put the problem front and center in the national conversation. People started talking about the 7 dangerous days, and the media began reporting on the daily death toll with a new level of scrutiny. It created a focal point for action and made the issue impossible to ignore. For the first time, there was a coordinated, high-profile attempt to tackle the problem head-on, and it brought a new level of public engagement to road safety. However, as with many things, it's a bit of a double-edged sword, and the campaign has its critics. Some road safety experts argue that the name itself is problematic. The biggest concern is that it might unintentionally make people think the roads are safe during the other 358 days of the year. This is a dangerous misconception because, unfortunately, they aren't. The reality is that Thailand consistently ranks among the top countries in the world for road fatalities year-round, not just during Songkran or New Year. The daily grind on Thai roads can be just as hazardous. Critics suggest that by focusing so intensely on this one week, it might distract from the need for consistent, year-round enforcement and infrastructure improvements. The problem isn't just a holiday phenomenon. It's a daily crisis. So while the 7 Dangerous Days campaign was a landmark in public awareness, it also highlights the much bigger, more complex challenge of making Thailand's roads safe for everyone, every single day. You might think with numbers this high, the government is just sitting back and watching. But that's not the case at all. They are fighting back, and they're using a multi-pronged approach that's both official and incredibly community-driven. First, let's talk about the checkpoints. We're not just talking about standard police stops. Across the country, thousands of what are called community checkpoints spring into action. Picture this. These are often staffed by village leaders and local volunteers. They are literally standing on the road, stopping their own neighbors, friends, and family members who they can see have had too much to drink, preventing them from getting on their motorbikes in the first place. It's a powerful grassroots effort to police their own communities and keep everyone safe. It's about personal responsibility, enforced by the people who know you best. Then there's the official enforcement side. The police are cracking down hard, focusing on what they call the 10 bitter offenses. This isn't just about drunk driving. It's a comprehensive list of dangerous behaviors they are targeting with zero tolerance. This includes things like aggressive lane splitting, which is so common on busy roads, and of course, the absolute basics. Enforcing mandatory helmet laws for motorcyclists and seatbelt use for everyone in a car. By tackling all these risky behaviors at once, they're trying to create a much safer road culture overall, not just during the holidays. It's a message that says, we are watching and the rules will be enforced. Finally, what happens when a crash does occur? Time is the most critical factor. The Ministry of Public Health shifts into an emergency footing. Every hospital in the country is put on high alert. They establish a 24-hour emergency communication link between dispatch, first responders, and hospitals. The goal is simple: get expert medical care to crash victims within that crucial golden hour. This rapid response system is designed to give every victim the best possible chance of survival and recovery. It's about recognizing that even with the best prevention, accidents will happen, and being prepared to save lives is the ultimate backup plan. So you see, it's a combination of community intervention, strict law enforcement, and a highly organized medical emergency response. It's a massive, coordinated effort to turn the tide against this deadly epidemic on the roads. Have you ever heard of the 7 Dangerous Days in Thailand? It's not some thrilling adventure. It's a stark reality for anyone on the roads during the New Year and Songkran holidays. Picture this. Millions of people are traveling home, celebrating with friends and family. The atmosphere is electric, but beneath the surface, a hidden danger lurks. These 2 weeks are known to be the deadliest on Thailand's roads, and it's a real bummer. Every year, the government launches campaigns, sets up countless police checkpoints, and floods the media with warnings. Yet year after year, the numbers remain alarmingly high. We're talking about hundreds of lives lost and thousands injured in just a matter of days. It's a national tragedy that repeats itself with heartbreaking regularity. But why? What makes these specific days so lethal? Let's break down the main culprits. First, and most tragically, is drunk driving. Holidays in Thailand are synonymous with celebration, and that often involves alcohol. Despite the warnings and checkpoints, many people still get behind the wheel after having a few drinks. The second major factor is speed. With long, open highways and a rush to get to their destinations, many drivers push the limits, turning their vehicles into deadly projectiles. And finally, there's the issue of helmets. A staggering number of motorcycle-related deaths involve riders not wearing proper protection. In rural areas, it's common to see entire families on a single bike with no helmets in sight. When you combine alcohol, speed, and a lack of basic safety gear, you have a recipe for disaster. These aren't just statistics. They are real people's sons, daughters, parents whose celebrations turned into tragedies. So what does this mean for you, the traveler? It means being aware and being responsible. The 7 Dangerous Days are a somber reminder that the joy of travel comes with a heavy responsibility. While authorities are working to make the roads safer, the most critical safety feature is the person in control of the vehicle. If you find yourself in Thailand during these festive but dangerous periods, please make smart choices. Always wear your helmet, even for the shortest trips. Never drive after drinking, just grab a taxi or a song thaw. And hey, stick to the speed limit. The stunning views will still be there. Thailand is the land of smiles, a place to create incredible memories that will last a lifetime. Let's make sure they are happy ones. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think these campaigns are effective, or is a much deeper cultural shift needed? Share your opinions in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and travel safe.